Okay, think for a moment about how much stress you've felt lately. Maybe it's work deadlines, maybe bills piling up, or just, the daily grind. If you're anything like most people, it's probably been quite a bit, right? Now, what if I told you that something really fundamental, something we've all kind of been taught about stress, well, it might actually be doing us more harm than good? It's a pretty big claim, isn't it?
It really is. For decades, the message has been so clear: stress is bad.
Eh,
Full stop. It makes you sick, ups your risk for colds, heart disease, you name it.
Exactly. But today, we're doing a deep dive into this really revolutionary idea. The idea that believing stress is always bad might actually be more dangerous than the stress itself.
Mhm.
So our mission here is to explore how changing your mindset, maybe even your actions around stress, can fundamentally alter its impact
Right.
on your body, on your life, turning this thing we see as an enemy into, well, maybe an ally. Sounds totally backwards, I know. It's a huge shift. Let's get into it.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is we're not just talking philosophy here or some, abstract wellness concept. We're looking at hard data, concrete studies suggesting that how you perceive stress could literally be a matter of life and death.
Okay, perception as life or death. That definitely grabs your attention.
Right. The science is surprisingly clear, and it really pushes back against a lot of assumptions we've held for a long time. It's less about getting rid of stress and maybe more about getting better at it, harnessing it perhaps.
Oh, okay, so where does this idea even come from? You mentioned studies. There must be some foundational research that kicked this all off.
There absolutely is. And it's pretty compelling. It really started with this landmark study. They tracked 30,000 adults across the U.S. for 8 years.
40,000 people. That's a big cohort.
A huge cohort. And at the start, they asked everyone two really crucial questions. First, how much stress have you experienced in the last year? Simple enough. And second, do you believe that stress is harmful for your health?
Ah, okay. So measuring both the experience and the belief about it.
Precisely. Then the researchers they tracked public death records for the next 8 years to see who passed away.
Right. So what do they find? I imagine high stress correlated with higher mortality, right? That seems obvious.
Well, yes and no. Initially, yes. People who reported experiencing a lot of stress in the past year, they did have a 43% increased risk of dying.
43%. Okay, that sounds bad. That fits the old narrative.
It does. But here's the twist. The absolute game changer, that increased risk. It was only true for the people who also believed that stress is harmful to their health.
Wait, really? Only for those who believed it was bad. So if you had high stress but didn't think it was harmful.
Then you were no more likely to die. In fact, get this, people who experienced a lot of stress but didn't view it as harmful, they had the lowest risk of dying in the entire study.
Lower than people with low stress.
Lower than everyone, including those reporting very little stress.
That's genuinely shocking. The belief itself seems to be the active ingredient here, not just the stress level.
It points strongly in that direction. It suggests our narrative, our interpretation of stress, is a critical health variable, not just its presence.
Wow.
And this led the researchers to a calculation that's frankly staggering. Over those 8 years, they estimated that 182,000 Americans died prematurely. Not from stress, but specifically from the belief that stress is bad for you.
182,000 from a belief.
That averages out to over 20,000 deaths a year.
20,000? That's hard to even comprehend. If that's right, believing stress is bad would be what, like the 15th biggest killer in the U.S.?
Roughly, yes. More deadly than skin cancer,
Yeah.
HIV/AIDS, even homicide, according to that estimate.
That is just mind-blowing. It makes you want to immediately change your mind about stress.
Right. It certainly makes you think. It shifts the focus, doesn't it? Away from just trying to avoid stress at all costs and towards understanding the incredible power of our own perception. How you think about stress matters. A lot.
Okay, this totally reframes how I've thought about my own stress. Like, maybe all that worrying about being stressed was actually counterproductive. So, if belief is so powerful, does that translate down to our physical reactions? Like, in the moment, can changing your mind actually change how your body responds?
Absolutely. And there's great research on this, too, often using something called the social stress test. Maybe you can picture this.
Yeah.
You walk into a lab, you're told, surprise, you have to give a 5-minute speech on the spot about your personal weaknesses.
Oof. Yeah, no thanks. That sounds awful.
Right. And you're talking to a panel of expert evaluators who are trained to look bored, maybe frown a bit, bright lights on you, camera recording.
Okay, yeah, I can feel my heart rate going up just thinking about it. Classic stress response.
Exactly. And then, just when you're feeling thoroughly judged, They hit you with a math test. You have to count backwards. From 996 in steps of 7. Out loud. Fast.
Come on.
And the experimenter's right there, hassling you. Faster. You made a mistake. Start over. It's designed to stress you out.
Mission accomplished, I'd say.
Definitely. And in that situation, yeah, your heart pounds, you breathe faster, maybe you start sweating. And usually we interpret that as, oh no, I'm losing it. I can't cope.
That's exactly how I'd feel. Signs of anxiety, right, panic.
That's the typical interpretation. But what if you saw those signs differently? What if you thought, okay, my heart's pounding. That's my body getting energized, preparing me for action, breathing faster. Great, more oxygen to my brain. Let's do this.
Like a pep talk to yourself about your own physiology.
Kinda, yeah. And this is exactly what they taught participants in a study at Harvard. Before the stress test, they were coached to rethink their body's response as helpful, as adaptive.
Just a simple reframe. Did it actually work? Beyond just feeling a bit better mentally?
It made a huge difference. Subjectively, yes, they reported feeling less stressed, less anxious, more confident, which is great in itself. But the really cool part was the physical change, the biological response.
Okay, what happened?
So normally under stress like that, heart rate goes up. And critically, blood vessels constrict, they tighten up. That constriction is a big part of why chronic stress is bad for your cardiovascular system over time.
Right, I've heard that. High blood pressure, heart attacks.
Exactly. But in this Harvard study, when participants viewed their stress response as helpful, their heart still pounded just as hard. They still had that energy. But their blood vessels, they stayed relaxed, open.
Whoa. Same pounding heart, but relaxed blood vessels.
Exactly. No constriction. And that profile, heart working hard but vessels open, that's a much, much healthier cardiovascular state. It actually looks more like the response your body has during moments of, say, joy or
That's the
courage.
biology of courage. I like that. So it's not the fast heartbeat itself that's the enemy. It's the constriction that often goes with it.
That seems to be a key part of it. And think about the long-term impact. If, over a lifetime of stressful events, your body responds this healthier way each time, simply because you changed your mindset, that could genuinely be the difference between, say, a stress-related heart attack at 50 and living well into your 90s.
That's incredible. It really drives home that point. The goal isn't zero stress. It's getting better at stress, becoming more resilient.
Precisely. So the next time you feel your heart pounding when you're stressed, you can actually pause and think, okay, this is my body helping me rise to this challenge. And the amazing thing is, your body seems to listen. Your stress response becomes healthier. You're harnessing the energy.
That's a powerful tool to have, a total perspective shift. Okay, so belief matters. Reframing our physical response matters. What else is there to this new understanding of stress?
Well, there's another really fascinating piece, something most people don't associate with stress at all. Stress, believe it or not, makes you social.
Makes you social. How does that work? Stress usually makes me want to hide under a rock.
Huh, I get that feeling. But biologically, there's something else going on. We need to talk about oxytocin.
Oxytocin. Isn't that the cuddle hormone? The bonding thing?
That's exactly what most people know it as. It's released when you hug someone. It strengthens relationships, builds trust. It's a neurohormone, meaning it works in the brain and body. And it fine-tunes our social instincts. Makes you want connection, boosts empathy, makes you more willing to help others.
Okay, I'm with you on oxytocin and bonding, but
Yeah.
stress, that seems like the opposite context.
And here's the mind bender. Oxytocin is also a stress hormone. Your pituitary gland releases it right along with adrenaline when you're stressed. It's part of the package.
No way. Oxytocin is released during stress. Why? What's it doing?
Its purpose seems to be precisely to counter that hide under a rock feeling. When oxytocin floods your system during stress, it motivates you to seek support. It's your biology nudging you. Tell someone how you feel.
Right.
Don't keep it bottled up. It also makes you more attuned to others who might be struggling. It encourages mutual support. Essentially, your stress response has a built-in feature designed to pull you closer to people when things get tough.
So our bodies are literally wired for connection as a way to handle stress. That's actually beautiful, a biological imperative for community.
It really is. And knowing this changes how we view the health effects, too. Oxytocin doesn't just make you feel connected. It physically protects your cardiovascular system. It's a natural anti-inflammatory. It helps keep those blood vessels relaxed during stress, like we just talked about.
Okay, so it contributes to that healthier biology of courage response.
Yes. But here's the most amazing part, I think. Oxytocin acts directly on your heart. Your heart actually has receptors for this hormone. And oxytocin helps heart cells regenerate. It helps heal damage caused by stress.
Heal. Stress can damage the heart, but a stress hormone helps heal it.
Isn't that incredible? This stress hormone, oxytocin, literally strengthens your heart muscle, helps it recover.
Wow, so it's not just about damage control, it's active repair.
Exactly. And here's the kicker. All these physical benefits of oxytocin, they're enhanced by social contact and social support. So when you actually follow that oxytocin nudge and reach out to someone, whether you're asking for help or offering it,
You release more oxytocin.
you release more and its positive effects get amplified.
Yeah.
Stress response becomes healthier. You recover faster. It's like your body is saying, see, connection works. Your stress response has a built-in mechanism for resilience, and that mechanism is human connection.
That's just so powerful. Our biology wants us to connect, and connecting literally makes us stronger and healthier in the face of stress. So if connection is key, and oxytocin nudges us both to seek and give support, does actively helping others take this even further? Like, is there a benefit to being the helper?
That's a great question, and yes, absolutely. This leads us to one more really important study. This one also tracked about 1,000 adults in the U.S., aged 34 to 93 over 5 years. Similar setup. They asked, how much stress have you experienced in the last year? Financial stress, family crises, that kind of major stuff. But then they asked another crucial question. How much time have you spent helping out friends, neighbors, people in your community?
Measuring the giving support side of the equation. Okay, I'm bracing myself for another surprising find.
You should be. So first, the expected bad news. For every major stressful life event someone experienced, their risk of dying over the 5 years increased by 30%.
30% per major stressor. Okay, that's significant.
It is. But, and it's a huge but, this increase was not true for everyone. The people in the study who reported spending time caring for others, helping friends, neighbors, community members, they showed absolutely no stress-related increase in dying. Zero.
Zero. Even if they went through major stressful events, if they were helping others, their mortality risk didn't budge.
That's what the data showed. Zero effect of stress on mortality for those who were regularly caring for others.
That is astonishing. Caring for others literally created resilience against the physical toll of stress. It's like an antidote.
It really seems that way. The researchers' conclusion was simple. Caring created resilience. It's another powerful piece of evidence showing that the harmful effects of stress are not inevitable. How we act, how we connect makes a massive difference.
It all comes together, doesn't it? How you think about stress and how you act, especially in terms of connection and caring, can completely transform your experience. We have way more agency than we thought.
Exactly right. So, if we boil it down, there are maybe 2 huge takeaways for you, the listener. First, choosing to view your stress response as helpful, as your body preparing you. That creates the biology of courage. It makes your physical response healthier. And second, choosing to connect with others when you're stressed, seeking support, or giving it. That creates resilience. It leverages that oxytocin effect and protects you.
Biology of courage and resilience through connection. I love that.
These aren't just nice ideas. They seem to be tapping into fundamental biological pathways for dealing with adversity and actually thriving.
Yeah, this whole conversation gives me such a different perspective on stress. It's not just this negative thing to be endured or avoided. It actually gives us access to, well, to our hearts in a way, both a compassionate heart that connects with others
Driven by oxytocin.
and our actual physical pounding heart working hard to give us the strength and energy we need.
Well put.
And when you choose to see stress that way, you're doing more than just coping better. You're making a statement, aren't you? You're saying, I can trust myself to handle life's challenges. And maybe just as importantly, I don't have to face them alone.
That's a really powerful way to frame it. Trust in yourself and trust in connection.
So maybe here's a final thought for everyone listening, something to mull over. Knowing all this, does it still make sense to say, avoid a potentially stressful job if it's deeply meaningful to you? Is chasing that meaning, even with the stress it might bring, actually better for your health in the long run than trying to build a life completely free of discomfort if you believe you can handle the stress using these insights?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Maybe the healthiest path isn't avoiding stress, but pursuing what matters most to you and trusting yourself and your amazing biology to handle the stress that comes with it. Trusting you have the tools, the biology of courage and the power of connection.